Good evening. I'm Epstein with your metal market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening as we're here now on Thursday, the 13th of June, 2024 at 5:40 p.m. Central Time. So an interesting day. Before we get to the prices, let's take a look and see what I mean by that. You had the Producer Price Index headline, and it came in lower, down 0.2. They expected it up 0.1. So just stop right there for a moment. You got CPI coming in lower, you got PPI coming in lower. Traders will embrace the idea that inflation is peaking out. I saw today in the New York Times that they are saying that rents are starting to fall there. Now, New York it's no microcosm of anything. But if it falls in the big leagues, what's going to happen in the smaller leagues? That's my point. Ex-food and energy, things were unchanged. That wasn't the best. I would have liked to have gotten core a little different than that. Personal consumption was down, and you didn't revise anything in April. But this number also spurred the market on. Suddenly, we're getting 13,000 more claims, up to 242. In addition, these are the highest continuing weekless claims in a very, very, very long time at 182. So this means that it's harder to get jobs. As much as you've got the JOLTS number that was at 8 million, it's still a lot more people are looking for work. Got to remember, people have been hired for the spring and summer. So the waiting staffs, the camp staffs, the labor markets for the construction and all, they've all been hired in different areas. In addition, you're dealing here with the fact that I think, California's laws where they went up to $20 for fast food workers, how many people get laid off because of that? I mean, you find a way as a company, you got to either raise the price to the consumer, which you probably did. You got to lower some staff, which you probably do. It shows up there. Prices are too high, and the price wars begin. June 25th, McDonald's launches, I know here, their $5 value meal to bring people back in. Burger King's already doing it. Wendy's is doing it. So you're getting that now. In after hours today, Adobe was up 16.5%. Whoa, that's a pretty good bump. And Tesla, well, Elon won. So the vote went his way for his pay and the move to Delaware, incorporate there instead of Delaware and Texas. And now the question is, how will the judge view all this? Because this is just a legal step. It's not that he's getting that money. The judge ruled against it. Now the vote came in by the owners of the company. Overwhelming from what I hear, I haven't seen the exact count, that they approved the deal. So what grounds does the judge really have to not do it? That becomes the question. So there's going to be more of a legal battle with all this. We will see what goes on. But for the moment, and this is good news for Tesla, you have the attention of the genius, and I think that's important. Tomorrow morning, you're going to get the import-export price data, and the University of Michigan preliminary June consumer sentiment indices will come out. But the event that I think you have to consider is that inflation took one on the chin. And we saw that happen in the gold get knocked back to 23.18. The silver market's under $29 an ounce. The copper market's back into that area. It's been trying to hold at 448. If it can't hold there, then the 428 area is the next zone, and even platinum came down. The dollar out of left field, even with falling interest rates, because if you look here, you can see you're at 4.25 tonight in the 10-year note. And yet, going down there, dollar snapped up, and mortgages fell 0.4 today. All right. So in the gold market, it certainly looks like the market wants to leak down to the 18-week average of closes. Now, that number's going to change after tomorrow. It's moving at the tune of about $16 a week. So just be aware of that where you're at. You're going to drop a value back here, add the Friday value, and you're probably going to be up into the 2270s is my guess is where you'll end up with that. When you look at the gold here, it's almost like a stepping ladder. And each time you get a rally like you did here, and then it seems to break those lows. We'll see if it does that pattern again, but that seems to be the pattern it's in. Those are also making for a downtrend. Lower highs, lower lows. The market is underneath the 18-day average. It tried to stay over it right here. Couldn't do it with an outside day. Remember we had that day and I said, until you take that out, be careful. This is now a reiteration of the downtrend. You heard me, a reiteration, because you had been down, outside day down, and you're coming here. But what haven't we done? You haven't really gone through the lows of that day. You keep coming back and testing it. So why? Because the Bollinger Band was there, and it's not much lower than that at the 2294 level. If it all lets go, you might go to 2261 to that zone, but I think you're nearing the zone already where it's getting harder and harder to press the short side as you're already oversold, pretty oversold, in fact, in the market. When we stayed over, and I explained this yesterday, we got up, down, and then when we came back up over that high over here, it just kicked the silver to lose more than the gold. So we've gone back from about 73. All of a sudden, you need 6 more ounces of silver to get that same ounce of gold. So silver's been losing. But like the gold, number one, it's oversold. Number two, it's approaching big-time support, the lower Bollinger Band. I don't know that you're attracting new short selling there. In the copper market, we have the embedded reading, and until it's lost, this market's going to have a heck of a time trying to pick itself up. When the red line closes over 21, that's when I think more action can happen, and maybe you can get back into these key averages here. We'll find out. In the platinum, as we came down 3 days ago, I said to you, you're now going to hit key support of the combination of the 100, the 200-day average, and the Bollinger Band, working against the market, not for it, working to try to put it down. It still has the embedded reading. And when you get that, you don't fight that. I see so many traders try to do that, and it rarely works out. More times than not, you embed, you want to sell rallies, not buy the breaks. And until the red line closes over 21, I don't have much more to say. The metal markets are under a lot of selling pressure, and it's exasperated. Today, out of left field, the dollar came up. Why? I couldn't begin to answer the question. You got falling interest rates, falling inflation, and the dollar took off on that news today, 57 points. You are caught in something of a whipsaw here, from the upper Bollinger Band to the lower, so be very careful. This market is not trend friendly just yet. So I think you got to watch yourself. Something that I think you'll find trend friendly will be tomorrow when I announce my Father's Day sale. So be on the lookout for everything I do then. In the meantime, if you want any of our free offers, just go to iraepstein.com. Free offers, the left side of the page, and away you go. I'm Ira. You have yourself a good evening.